This has been sitting around for a while, and I figure I probably actually should take a look at it, right? Yes. As the crows outside make an absolute nuisance of themselves, this is an iMac G3, but not just any iMac G3. I'm not 100% sure which revision this is, if this is a revision C or a revision D. I wish it were legal to shoot those things. Get them to shut up. Don't they know I'm trying to shoot a video? Digression. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, the way that it actually worked is that the original Bondi Blue, which did have two different revisions, that's revision A, and these later fruit color ones were revision B, because they were the second major redesign of the iMac. Still shared the same basic chassis, which is quite a bit different from the slot loaders. It's not the same pretty much at all. You can definitely tell. It's got the translucent plastic, and you can see all of this, all this metal shielding material. I believe these also have a cooling fan, where the later ones do not. If we take a look, you might be able to see, I think the cooling fan would be right there, inside that metal cage. It is located right there. This one is in okay condition. It's not perfect, obviously. There's a crack right here. Pretty big crack right there, but for the most part, it's in pretty acceptable condition. I still have the port door. This is amazing. These are usually one of the first things to disappear because they're so difficult to open. You can see I still have it there. Covers up what we've got. Microphone, speaker out, two USB, Ethernet, the reset and programmer, and the modem. Let me close that back up. I think the hinges on this are a little bit busted up, but they're still there. Speaking of busted up, there's a stand on the front that helps to raise it. That's lime green in color. You can see that's kind of broken. One of the sides there is busted off. And then right here is the second handle that it has on the bottom in addition to this to help carry it. That's also broken. So this is the only handle that it's got. It's not exactly lightweight. I don't remember how much it weighs. But probably somewhere in the neighborhood of what this over here would weigh. And that thing weighs about 40 pounds. So, like I said, not lightweight. But as mentioned, this is one of the older tray loader designs. It's actually an odd color. This was offered as a standard color, one of the 5 fruit colors. I believe it was blueberry, strawberry, grape, tangerine, and blueberry, strawberry, grape, tangerine, and this, which is lime. Yes, that's the 5 colors. I replaced the Bondi Blue with the revision C iMac. But, I haven't seen a whole lot of these lime green ones. Usually, the colors that I saw were the blueberry. Actually, no, not even the blueberry. It's usually the strawberry and the grape, with some tangerines thrown in there. The blueberry ones certainly did exist. It was hard to tell the difference between them and the Bondi Blues, because they were about the same shade. Not quite, but almost. And then you rarely, if ever, saw these lime ones. But you can see the old oval style speakers as opposed to the circular ones that the later ones had. Slot loaders. There's your 2 headphone jacks. I believe what distinguishes the Revision A from the Revision B iMac is that the Revision A actually has a infrared and these later ones do not. Right here, this is where the infrared would have been on the Revision A. I'm not sure if these later ones also have a floppy connector. I know that the Revision A did. It's completely unused, because I don't know about you, but I've never heard of an iMac G3 with a floppy drive instead of a CD-ROM. And I believe that's exactly what this is. This is just a CD-ROM, and it's not a burner or a DVD drive of any capability. I believe that it works. I also believe that it's a laptop-style CD-ROM, in that it ejects, and the tray just kind of pops out, and you pull it the rest of the way out. Right, taking another look at this thing. There's not much really to see on these with their translucence. Of course, if I flip it upside down, you probably could see the specifications on this, but I don't really want to do that because I don't remember where I put my foam pads, and I don't want to set this thing down on this concrete because I don't want to damage it any worse than it already is. So what I'm going to do is I'll get a power cord hooked up to this. I'll get a keyboard and a mouse, and we'll power it up, see what it does. I can already tell you that I am probably going to have to reload the operating system on this. Okay, got the power hooked up. Probably hear a slight zizzing noise from the machine now, which is definitely a technical term. This is not an original keyboard, not anywhere close. This is a much newer keyboard off of my iMac G4, but it's the keyboard that was convenient because obviously this is too new to have ADB, so it's USB only, and I wasn't about to use a PC keyboard on it because that would just be wrong. I do, however, have a lime green mouse. I'm going to have to be on the lookout for a lime green keyboard. I'm not really sure what happened to this mouse. Well, there's some damage there. It looks like some kind of corrosion. We should be ready to power this thing up. Now, this thing has been sitting out here for quite a while. I think I've had this for almost 6 months now. In fact, it might even be approaching a year, to be honest with you. I don't remember when I picked this up. I don't even remember where it came from. I don't remember if it was an eBay find or a classifieds find. But let's hit the power. Yes, you can tell that this has a fan in it. Here it comes. Now, there's a little bit of a deformity in this corner here, this edge. I don't remember exactly what that deformity is called. I want to call it fold over. That's probably exactly what it is. This is obviously running a much newer version of the Mac OS than it would have shipped with, which is not what it's going to be keeping. This will be getting probably OS 8.6, which is what it would have shipped with originally. I think you might have heard that click there. I don't think this thing's got relays for different video modes, but maybe it does. The focus is not perfect. This mouse here works just fine. The problem with these hockey puck mice is what usually ends up happening is you end up using it like this, and then your directions don't correspond to where they're supposed to go. But I believe that this is either, this would have to be 10.3 at the absolute newest. I don't believe that these older Mac OSs would, or these older Mac OSs, these older iMacs would run 10.4. Yeah, 10.3, and this is actually one of the later 333 megahertz systems with 160 megabytes of memory. I wonder how that managed to happen. But so yeah, this would be a revision D. Revision C's were 266. So let's take a look here. Probably the original 32 megabyte memory module and a 128 megabyte add-on. I don't remember. I think the original Bondi Blue iMacs used SODIMMs. I don't remember what these ones used. There's the display adapter, ATI. 1024 by 768 maximum resolution on the display. I believe this is the original hard drive, 6.03 gigabyte. And of course, a CD-ROM drive. Now, the focus is not perfect on this, and I don't know if I'm really feeling up to adjusting it. This does not have SCSI. It does have USB, of course. There's the... Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's the optical mouse that I hooked up over there as a contingency in case this one didn't work. And the extended USB keyboard. And then this is a Logitech mouse. This is the official Apple mouse. Does it have the model on it somewhere? Yes, M4848, which is what it says there. This does not have FireWire. It does not have AirPort. I don't even know if you could add it. It does have a modem. I believe it's a 56K modem. Let's see, does it say? V90. That's all it tells you. Interesting. I'm pretty sure that it's a 56K modem, though. Now, the other interesting thing about this is that I did see a system folder for Mac OS 9. Before I do that, what does this have for applications? Is it just a bog standard install? That's what it looks like to me. So there's nothing special on this. Any OS 9 applications that are of interest? Doesn't look like there's anything really there either. Looks like this has been fresh installed. But I can go ahead and presumably switch it over to the OS 9 startup disk. I imagine that it's probably really only there for the classic startup. So you could run classic applications if you wanted to. Yep, OS 9.2.1. Let's go ahead and select it and restart to OS 9. Yes. That's how dual booting worked on the Macintosh back in the day. I'm not sure both speakers are working. This is more like what you would expect to see on one of these. Like I said, I'm not sure this was ever really run with Mac OS 9. I think the only reason why OS 9 was on here is for the classic environment, so you could run old OS 9 programs on Mac OS 10. Obviously the date and time is wrong because the battery that would have been in this is long dead. Kind of amazing it still has virtual memory turned on. Yeah, only one of my speakers is working. You can definitely tell. Or I could tell. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the final video. There's some popping in the speakers. Uh-oh. But yeah. So yeah, you could turn the speakers all the way down. Interesting. Very interesting. Based on that test. Yeah, that's more like it for a Lime computer. Continue taking a look here. Date and time. Oh, it's not 1970. Not that it matters. It's not like this is ever going to really see... Well, we'll probably see a battery eventually, but... Anyway, we'll set this back to 10.3. If it'll actually work. Yep, here we go. 10.3. Restart it. And we're out of focus. Nice. So like I said, this is going to get erased completely, and it'll get OS 8.6, which is what it would have shipped with. I don't really need OS 9, because I've got the other iMac G3 that has OS 9 on it, and will continue to have OS 9 on it. And if I really want an OS 10 machine, I've got all kinds of G4s sitting around that have OS 10 on them. I just want this thing to do something different. Reject this optical drive. As mentioned, this is a laptop-style drive. But yeah, I don't think this has ever really been used for anything. You can definitely tell that's a Maxter hard drive. And if I hit the eject key on this, it does actually work. So 2 gigabytes used. I want to see how much of that's the system folder. So this is created in 1976. That's funny. The Macintosh wasn't even around in 1976. So that's 803. And then this. 175. So we're looking at about a gigabyte right there. And then these, there aren't any programs really installed on this. It's 311. A couple of logs for an install. Web pages. I don't think there's really anything in there. Those are just all samples. Of course, here's my user folder. Which doesn't really have anything in it. So, not much really to see here. Original Safari. It's got an old version of Yes, of course, I'm not connected to any network. Does this have onboard Ethernet? I think it did. I don't remember already. Let's see. We can take a look here. Come on. Come on. Alright. Yes, I believe it does. I believe it's right there beside the modem connection, or beside the USB ports. This is, of course, a very early version of Safari. Before some clever cog points out the flickering and how I can solve it by going into system preferences and changing the resolution. Oh, it doesn't need to flicker that much. I don't really care. Like, to be perfectly honest, I don't really care. I'd rather use my computer the way that it's meant to be used. Because yes, as you can see, I can. Could probably even change the refresh rate. No, this won't support it. So you have to do 640 by 480 and 117. But you can't really use the computer like this. Like, what are you going to do with this? The system preferences dialog doesn't even fit on the screen. So I'll use the computer however I want to use the computer. This is the way that I'm going to use it. So I don't know why I'm really even bothering to configure this, because I'm just going to be getting rid of this install anyway. So there you go. There is your iMac G3 333 tray loading revision D model that has been sitting around out here for a very long time, finally getting its own video. Thank you for watching, and if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them below.